Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss the concept of fundamentalism from the subject of Sociology of Religion MSOE through IGNOU. So let us first take up the definition and after that nature and features of fundamentalists and fundamentalism, and then we conclude the concept of fundamentalism. So let's start with the definition of fundamentalism. Fundamentalism is defined as strict adherence to some belief or ideology, especially in religious context. In religious context, there are some beliefs or ideology and people strictly believe and stick to those commands, and they follow those commands in religious institutions. So this is all about the definition of fundamentalism, which we mostly see in Islam or Protestant Christianity. And we can also define the word fundamentalism as strict adherence to the basic principles of any subject or discipline. For example, in Protestant Christianity, they strictly believe the context of Bible, the sacred text, was given by God to them, as well as Muslim fundamentalists believe God's words are given in Quran. So they strictly follow the sacred text given to them, and they obey the commands of God, and they reject all the other things which are not in their sacred text. Now we will see the nature of fundamentalists and fundamentalism. We'll come one by one. They reject and wipe out all the interpretations, transformations and developments made on their sacred texts, because they believe the texts are seen as God's own words. They won't accept the interpretations and developments, and they don't need modern sacred texts. So they want it as usually, or they want the original copies of their sacred text. So they reject and wipe out all the modernized sacred texts. They don't need interpretations and developments and transformations on their sacred texts. Okay, next, they believe that God's words and laws are to be the base of society, economy, polity, culture and law. They strongly believe and obey the rules of God, and they think these commands will easily run the society, economy, polity, culture and law. Next, fundamentalists consequently reject the pluralist principle of many gods, many moralities, many laws. They are against the concept of many gods. They think and they believe only their God was true. Only their religion was spiritual, and they won't accept any other god as their god. Next, fundamentalists oppose the separation of religion from politics and state. They said religion consists of politics and states and all the other things which are created by God. They believe that God is supreme over all. Then the political rule is also his domain. Okay, as well as fundamentalists demand on religious control over education. They did not believe in modern state-run schools, because these modern state-run schools follow interpreted sacred texts. As I earlier said, they reject and wipe out all the transformations, interpretations and developments made on their sacred texts. So they demand religious control over education, and they did not believe in modern state-run schools. According to them, all religions are not equal. They treat other religions as untrue. As I earlier said, only their God was true, only their religion was spiritual, and other religions are false. Let's see features of fundamentalism. Fundamentalism is opposed to reason and rationalism, and accepts religious beliefs and emotional responses. They oppose reasons of any experiment. They did not accept scientific experiments. They did not accept psychological explanations. They only believes and accepts religious beliefs and emotional responses. They are against secularism. Secularism is nothing but the principle of separation of the state from religious institutions. They want the state as it is in religious institutions. They don't accept the separation of state from religious institutions. So they are against secularism. Fundamentalism refuses the validity of all human knowledge which is outside the religious realm. They are against science experiments. They are against modernity. They are against westernization, so they refuses the validity of all human knowledge. They strongly believe on God's knowledge. They strongly believe in God's vision. Next, it opposes the concept of sovereignty, practice of democracy, and constitutional government. It opposes the concept of sovereignty. They won't accept the sovereignty, and they won't allow the practice of democracy, because in democracy people are the supreme. People are supreme. So in fundamentalism, God is supreme all over. So they won't accept the practice of democracy and constitutional government. It is against the basic ideas and values of the Enlightenment and modern science. They are against the basic ideas and values of Enlightenment and modern science. Next, conclusion. Fundamentalism is viewed as a type of conservative religious movement characterized by the advocacy of strict conformity to sacred texts. So people strongly believe and stick to those sacred texts and follow the commands of God through by those sacred texts, and reject all the other things which are not mentioned in their sacred texts. I hope you understand the concept of fundamentalism. Thank you.